what's something that you feel is stopping you?
So, I've done some stuff, right? For a long time, it seems like, even um, just in the performing arts in general. And so, what I've noticed is I always have this other job, but I've never been able to, like. It's like when I have a choice, it's like go in the out in the direction of performing arts,
Mhm.
or do the job I run to the job that I don't even like, that I quit in 6 months. So.
Did you already quit it, or are you going to quit it?
Well, so right now, actually, I'm kind of in, like, I'm driving right now, which I hate driving, but I'm driving, to pay the bills. And then I
Mhm.
also, like, I teach kids, acting, like recreational acting and
Oh,
stuff. And
so
like,
awesome.
I love them, to be honest. But I do that, and then I'm looking for like a different job because I can't. I don't want to be driving. So I'm actually like going on interviews this week, and there's lots of stuff. So one of the things I am kind of figuring out is what's the flexibility needs to be, like what the flexibility needs to be for commitment for being on film shoots. Um, what should I be looking for? Like, I mean, there's obviously waitressing and different things.
Well, when you do the program, you're going to get the financially free as a freelancer. So
Mm,
yeah, that kind of work it's freelance work that pays $25 an hour or more.
mhm.
So how much do you make driving?
Oh, like,
Probably pretty good.
not that much. No.
No?
No,
Oh,
I do Amazon Flex, and like by the time you pay for your gas, it's not even worth it. But
mm,
it pays my bills. Do you know what I mean? Pays my
mhm.
bills. So maybe like like that, and combined with like the other stuff that I do, like I make what I need to make, but
Yeah.
there is not enough. Do you know what
Yeah.
I
Got it. Got it.
mean?
So, why do you want to get into the film industry?
To be honest, I was very passionate about acting at one point. Very passionate. Um,
And what stopped you?
it's again that choice, and that like kind of start and stop, start and stop, start and stop, and not knowing how to like connect the momentum, and doing things like um just not knowing how to connect, and not realizing that I was shutting things down when it could have kept flowing.
Yeah. Oh, such a great realization. So you loved it. You're like all excited about it. And then you get out there and you're like, oh, something started. Now that I didn't get that one. And now I've got to take this job. And now 3 months have passed. And now, right, that kind of thing. And then the brain starts to say, oh, maybe this is harder. Maybe this isn't going to happen for me. Maybe, this is kind of a dream that nobody actually accomplishes. So I need to just make money. I need to get out there. And now the dream starts to go further and further out into the atmosphere. And then you come across this, right? And you're just like, oh, I'm going to revive that dream. But this is scary now. It's like, she's making me want to revive that dream. But now it's scary because what happens if it doesn't work now? You
Yeah.
know, that would be so disappointed.
Yeah.
Something like that.
Yeah. I think it's I mean, you think of, there were some cool things that I felt like I did, some milestones that I felt like I hit. Um but I think it's like being knocked down kind of like over that. It's like that, it's just like, just energetically I feel like that's making me like put the brakes on. Do you know what I
Yeah,
mean?
yeah. Now we think that our circumstances, what happens out there in the world,
Mhm.
causes our thoughts and our feelings. We think that what happens in the world is what is impacting our results.
Mhm.
But what's actually happening out the world has nothing to do with your results. It's
Mhm.
always you're thinking about what's happening out there that has to do with your results,
Yeah.
right? So that's a huge difference and a huge breakthrough because if it's the circumstances of the world that means that you're not going to get good results, well, they're not going to change. Those things, the way that the world is set up, the way the film industry is super competitive now, but also booming at the same time, the way that, it's people that hire you and they have to trust you and they have to refer you. Those are all the circumstances that can make you go like, oh, I don't know if I can compete into that. The thoughts that you've been having so far have given you the life that you have now. The thoughts took you over as you were starting to make momentum before, and then you slow down. And that's totally normal.
Mhm.
Thinking produces a feeling. So thinking, what were you thinking? Like, oh man, this is harder than I thought. I mean, even just that thought would stop you, right? Was that a thought that you might have had back then?
I think I think it was more about myself. Like I think it was more about how I thought about myself.
Okay. What's a thought?
Success happens to other people. Like other people can do it more than I can. You know,
Yeah.
like that.
Other people are better than me.
Mhm.
Is that the thought? Okay. Other people are better than me. Now, when you think that thought, how do you feel?
Horrible. I want to cry.
Yeah, I could tell when you said it. But it's just a thought that you allowed to come into your head and then you believed it.
Mm-hmm.
So that it's just a thought. You have 60,000 thoughts in a day. So if that thought makes you feel so sad, then how you're feeling impacts your actions. You don't want to do anything. You don't want to put yourself out there because it's going to be painful for you to just see over and over that other people are better, other people are better than me, other people are better than me. That thought, and the result is that you don't even start. And then you say, see, other people were better than me.
Wow.
That makes that thought feel like that was true, but it's actually the thought that created the result, that you didn't do anything because of the thought. So that thought, there's no upside to it.
Hmm.
Why do you choose to think other people that are better than me?
Because what if I'm actually better than I think? What if I can actually be successful?
Yeah,
How do
yeah,
we about it?
exactly. What your brain just did was like, well, I can see the result of that thought, and that's not even really true. So here's actually the truth. What if I am good? What if I can do much more than I think I can?
Mm-hmm.
That's right. So that's a thought that you have thought intentionally. That is intentional thinking. The other one just comes. We just feel like we're observing the world with these thoughts that come into our brains, right? We think that they're true because it's like, well, that's been my experience, but you haven't been, but we're not managing our minds. And when you start to intentionally choose your thinking, your thoughts, and you write it down and you practice it, you're in a new place. It's a break, isn't it a breakthrough just in itself to realize that the thought that I'm not as good as other people has been producing that result for the last how many years?
Long time.
Long time. And it was all some, and I didn't give you that thought. Nobody gave you that thought. You latched onto that thought. Right? Right. And can you see how I'm not as good as other people, how that created that experience for you? Yeah.
It made me like, and that, again, that's why I stopped. It's like, so I'll get some like, or I used to stop. I won't stop anymore. But I'll get that, something completely, even how I perceive things, right? So like, I would like say some kind of win happens, and then I wouldn't even be excited about it. I'd be like, I'd pretend I was excited about it, but I wasn't really excited about it, because I would still, yeah, but it's not like good enough. Yeah.
Exactly. And it wasn't just that thought, it was a lot of other thoughts too. So it's all of these thoughts that you were believing, that you were allowing to be there and not questioning them at all. You weren't. So when you think the thought, I'm not as good as other people, and you feel sad, no matter what happens, you're processing things through sad, disappointed, scared. And therefore everything is processed through that. And that's why those other opportunities, they were like, oh yeah, but it's not going to make a difference anyway. I'm still competing against other people. I have so far to go. That just feels like another true thought, but it's not.
Yeah.
How can you create this amazing career thinking I have so far to go?
Right.
Does it give you anything? Is there any upside to that thought?
No, it feels like a burden. It's like
Right. It's a burden. It just makes you feel, when you think that thought, I have so far to go. Tell me in the chat, everybody, and yourself, how does that make you feel? I have so far to go. How does it make you feel?
hopeless.
Hopeless. Oh, perfect. Yes. So from the feeling of hopeless, that's how you're going to be taking actions out there, what that impacts what you do, how you show up, what you expect.
Yeah.
Even the way people speak even the body language, everything, all of the energy comes from that emotion of hopeless. Now, you're not always in hopeless. You're, of course, we're not sad sacks, but we weren't managing our mind because we've got this film industry, which is super attractive and super lucrative, and it's super happening around us. And we did not know how to approach it. And we also didn't know how to manage our minds. But when you know what to do, and then you also know how to manage your mind during the whole time, then you've got exactly what you need to be able to do it successfully. And it's a whole new creation, what you're creating out there.
I mean, we're talking years here. So you just don't need like in that short amount of time. So, yeah.
I know. And guys, this is what we're doing in the reinvention training every week. Yeah, this is what you're doing. You're coming there, and what you're doing is you're looking at your brain, because none of this is about you. It's just about what your brain has been presenting to you that's been giving you results. So we're going, okay, and it's going to be Iwa that teaches these weekly calls, because I teach the calls on Sunday. She teaches the reinvention calls on Wednesday, and then we have the acting practice calls on Friday. So Iwa and you looking at your brain. Oh, what is it giving me this week? It's giving me that whatever, it would be like, oh, things that I've bit off more than I can chew. I know it's not true, but my brain keeps telling me that. And we work on that. And you're actually going to run it through what I call a self-coaching model. This is how you'll be managing your mind. There's a model. It can solve any problem